Another jury returns a multi-million-dollar verdict against Bayer-Monsanto for alleged damages arising from Roundup, the most significant weed-killing herbicide in the world. Joining us now is Roger McEowen with the Washburn University School of Law. Thanks so much for joining us, Roger. I think most people are familiar with this story, but let's start with a recap of the litigations.
Well, good to be with you, Christina. Yes, we had another jury verdict about 2 weeks ago that awarded $81 million in damages to a plaintiff that developed non-Hodgkin lymphoma. And that came about 8 months after a different jury, which was also in California, awarded a different plaintiff almost $300 million for his claim that Roundup caused his cancer. But later, the judge in that case cut the damages to about a third of what the jury awarded. And so those are the two big jury verdicts that are out there right now. And this most recent case was designated by the judge as a bellwether case for the future cases that are going to be tried. And there are over 11,000 of these cases that are in the pipeline.
Wow, 11,000. What are these verdicts and the thousands of other cases that you just mentioned? What do they mean to a farmer or a rancher on their operation?
Well, that's a good question, and I think it's time for farmers and ranchers to start having that conversation with their legal counsel. This is, the temptation in ag is for us to dismiss California juries as, in these matters, as reacting out of emotion to pin liability on a big company such as Bayer-Monsanto. Well, there may be elements of that, and I'm sure there are. However, we have to ask ourselves in ag, where is this going, and are there things that I need to be doing to protect myself from potential liability on the farm or ranch? Some of the basic things that I can do, and that's why I think that conversation has to start with their legal counsel right now.
Of those 11,000 pending cases that you mentioned, these are outside of California as well, I would imagine. And what do farmers need to keep in mind?
Well, I think there are basically three big things to have the conversation start right now. Start it at home and then talk to your legal counsel. If I'm farming and I'm using a glyphosate product to produce crops or livestock, what's my potential risk? If I am a landlord and I have a lease arrangement, do I need language in my lease arrangement that says any potential claims arising from use of glyphosate are on the tenant, and I am not going to be held liable for what the tenant does? Do I want language in there that bars the use of the product on my property? If I've got a comprehensive liability policy for the farm, am I covered? Do I need to have that conversation with my insurance company as well as an attorney that deals with insurance policies and reading them? If I employ farm workers, should I switch that to an independent contractor relationship to try to protect myself from a legal liability standpoint? I think those are the big issues that the conversation needs to start now.
All right, so you suggest farmers take a proactive approach. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we really value your information. Roger McEowen with the Washburn University School of Law, thank you so much for joining us today from Topeka, Kansas.